Meeting called to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk. Freeholder Beasley absent. Freeholder Bobadilla. Freeholder Clark absent. Freeholder Gill absent. Freeholder Johnson. Present. Freeholder Luciano.
Here.
Freeholder Owens. Here. Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Here.
Freeholder President Watson. Here. Okay. Will you please stand for the salute to the flag? And Freeholder Owens, will you please stand for the lead us in the salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. I have before me certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, are there any transcripts to be approved? Madam President, there are none. Okay, let's move to the public comment session, Madam Clerk, on agenda items first. If there's any member of the public who would like to comment on any item, on any agenda item, please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. That's to speak on agenda items. Please come to the microphone. And will you please state your name and affiliation for the record?
Sure. This is David Yenur, and I am a resident of Belleville, and I'm also the chair of the Gateway Group of the Sierra Club, and I'm also the Passaic River Issues Coordinator for the Sierra Club, and also the Recycling Issues Coordinator for the Sierra Club. I've also been designated to come here on behalf of the state chapter of the Sierra Club, which represents about 20,000 people. The Gateway Group represents about 500 members. And our concern is that there's an ordinance to amend the ordinance regarding membership and terms of on the Essex County Recreation and Open Spaces Advisory Board. And our concern is that the Sierra Club has a seat on that board. That's the way the committee was written in the first place back in 1998, I believe. And the Open Spaces has a fund. They've raised about $100 million. And I think it really behooves the freeholders to have an environmental member on that board. And the Sierra Club is the foremost environmental club in New Jersey. I am a retired probation officer, and I worked here for 36 years. And so I'm doing this out of love for the environment. And really, the issue is that the Sierra Club deserves a seat on that committee. It was actually one of our ideas to have that committee. So I would ask the freeholders to reject this resolution. That's it.
Okay, we thank you for your comments, and as always, we respond to anyone that comes before the board. We will respond to you in writing in reference to your concerns, and the response should be, you should receive the response within 5 to 10 days, okay? And thank you again for your interest in Essex County. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak at this time? Okay, then, you have another? Please come to the microphone, please. And we are now on any issue, so this young lady and you give your name and affiliation, please, will speak on any issue at this time.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Gail Gibson. I am the president of Essex County College. I would be remiss if I did not attend tonight's meeting. I'm here on behalf of the 25,000 students at our college and the over 30,000 alumni, our faculty and our staff. And I'm here just to say congratulations to all of the outgoing freeholders, Freeholder President Lonnie Watson, Freeholder Jerry Owens, Freeholder Carol Clark, and also Freeholder Bilal Beasley. And we wanted to share with you some Essex County tokens of appreciation, paraphernalia, and wish you well. And thank you for all of the years of your support to Essex County, but mostly to Essex County College. And I want to say also that Freeholder Owens also served on our Board of Trustees, and for that he gets a double thank you.
Oh, wow.
So, on behalf of the college, I thank you, and I would like to leave these tokens of appreciation.
And normally we don't respond when someone is at the mic, but I'm going to make an exception. We want to thank you. Thank you for thinking about the freeholders that's leaving at the end of the month, and we appreciate all that you're doing over at the college. So I'm sure you'll probably see Freeholder Clark coming by, and myself and Freeholder Owens. Maybe we out having coffee because we're bored, and we may just stop by at the college.
Thank you very much, and know that you're leaving Essex County College in good hands. We will continue to exceed expectations.
Fantastic. Thanks again. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak?
Good afternoon, Madam President, members of the Freeholder Board. My name is Theodore Stevens, and for the past 3 years, I've had the pleasure of serving the residents of Essex as the county surrogate. One of the first things I did in my official capacity when I first undertook this position was come to this mic to express my willingness to work with the Freeholder Board and my desire to learn as much as I could from you, being that I was at that time the youngest constitutional officer. Some 3 years later, I stand here today in a very bittersweet moment because some of this board, this illustrious board, are going to leave. And in the 3 years, I just want to say that it has exceeded my expectation in terms of what public service could be here in Essex County. All 4 of you who are leaving, I have a very special regard for. Freeholder Clark, of course, is my freeholder, who I've known for many, many years in the city of East Orange, and you will be missed, Freeholder. Also, Freeholder Owens, I only knew you socially before being on the Freeholder Board, so now we have some different stories to share because of those, certainly, while they were memorable, certainly I know you now as not only being a tremendous individual, but a committed public servant, so I congratulate you for the service you provided as well. In absentia, D. Bilal Beasley, what can you say? He's an institution in the community of Irvington. We wish him the best in terms of his challenges, but know that he's made a tremendous contribution to the County of Essex. And last but certainly not least, my Freeholder President, Lonnie Watson, who has been so much more. I am not going to call you my surrogate mother in absence of mine, but you certainly are the big sister I never had. And your legacy will live far beyond your time here and sitting in that chair. And you and your colleagues have set a tremendous standard that I'm sure that the new freeholders, some of which are here today, will emulate and will also continue to carry the ball forward. So I would be remiss also not to come here just on this auspicious occasion to be on the record. One of the things about being a judge in the surrogate court is I don't have resolutions, I don't have proclamations. If I did, I would give each of you one. But the best I can do is give you my heartiest thanks and best wishes for the future. And thank you so much.
And normally, again, I'm making a second exception. We normally don't respond to individuals at the mic, but I will respond on behalf of Freeholder Clark and Freeholder Owens and myself, and we thank you for the kind words and the well wishes. Again, when we go by the college and we get bored at the college, we may stop by the surrogate's office to have coffee with you.
Welcome at all the times. You give me a reason to restock my refrigerator. Absolutely.
And you know what? And the county executive gave all of us a key to the county, so he said that we can come in whenever we want to.
Well, you know, I've been worried about my doors. Let's see if that one works in mine too. Bring it anytime.
Very good. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have with us, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
My name is Joseph DiVincenzo. I'm the Essex County Executive. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Seasons to everyone. Not to be outdone by President from Essex County College. She gave you a bag. I don't know what's in the bag, but remember, not only she's a good president, she's a good politician. Just remember, I gave you the key.
Yes.
All right? I don't know what's in the bag, but I don't think it's the key. You know, she is a lot better looking than I am, but good job there, President. It's very, very smart, I got to tell you something. But to Freeholder Jerry Owens, I want to say to him, you know, he's been a very strong supporter of the things that we've done here in the county. And I know you've been here for a short period of time, 2 years, but Jerry, you've been around a lot more in Essex County. You've been part of the democratic process here in Essex County, and we just want to thank you for your support. And I know you're not going anywhere, and you're still going to be involved, and we're going to be able to utilize you on behalf of the 800,000 residents in Essex County, and we just want to thank you. To my good friend Carol Clark, it was always tough getting a vote out of Carol. Sometimes she's a little different, but I respect Carol for that. But for 12 years, Carol and I ran together, myself as county exec, and she was part of the ticket. And there's nobody like Carol, and there's nobody that I wanted to run for than with Carol. And I'm glad she got back into politics. And Carol knows government inside out. She knows the municipality. She knows county government. Yes, she knows state government. And she's surely going to be missed. And she is part of our Essex County family. And Carol, I just want to thank you for all your hard work. And to Freeholder Bilal Beasley, who's under the weather. You know, everyone knows how close I am to Bilal. How close he is to everyone. He's a brother of mine. He's been with us from the very beginning. He's been involved in the township of Irvington for a very long time, but he's been part of this board, and he's also been very, very supportive. And all I'm asking everybody here is to pray for Bilal, because he's having a difficult time. And but we're going to be there. He's going to get better, and he won't be here on the board, but I know he will be involved in the things we do on the county. And to my good friend, Freeholder President Blondie Watson, this chambers looks the way it does is because of Blondie. That hall looks the way it does because of Blondie. The conference room, which is named it, is because of Blondie. When I was president for 8 years, you know, we had a Republican county exec. And we were very, very tight. We could not make the improvements. But Blondie said she wanted things first class, just like we do everything else in the county, and we've done that. And we're going to continue to do it. And we're going to renovate this room like you said, and we're going to bring you back to cut the ribbon, Blondie.
Thank you.
So you are very much part of, not only for 8 years being the president, but you were my president, I think, for 5 years when I served as president. And you did an outstanding job. And this chambers will always be your chambers, Blondie. So thank you very, very much. And thank you, all of you, on behalf of the 800,000 residents and to all the freeholders. You know, we're one team. We're two bodies of government. We are the administration, okay, and you are the freeholder board. But when it comes to, we're all serving the same people.
Yes.
And to get things done, you got to work together in good times and bad times. And this county, for the last 12 years, we went through budget problems early on, and then we remember 2007, and guess what? We still have some problems. We're doing very, very well. Our bond rating's AA, too. Our goal is to be a AAA bond rating, but, you know, we are gonna, you know, things are still tough, and the people in this county are still hurting. We have the highest property tax, we have the highest foreclosures, and we still have the highest unemployment. All right, so that we got to keep things going, keep things moving. We got to keep people back to work. So, Blondie, congratulations to my good friends, the freeholders. Thank you for making this county move the last 12 years. Thank you very much.
And let's give her a hand. And again, I'm making another exception. Normally we don't respond, but I must respond to the county exec. We want to thank you for taking the time out to come and congratulate the freeholders that's leaving. And also, I want to again publicly thank you for coming up with the naming of the conference room, the Blondie R conference room. So those of you who did not see it, have not seen the conference room, I ask that you please just walk down the hall. It is simply beautiful, and I can't thank you enough, Joe. I say it every time I see you. And again, you gave us the key to the county, and those of us will be aboard, and the 3 of us, 4 of us at Bilal will continue to feel better, hopefully. We will be stopping by your office and having coffee. Thank you. And thanks again for all that you've done for the county and with the support of this board. Thank you again. Do we have anyone else who would like to comment? This is open public comment session, and you can speak on any issue or any topic at this time. If so, please come to the microphone. I see my grandson sitting there, and he's home from Susquehanna University, and he'll be graduating this May. Is that right, Carly? Would you like to congratulate the freeholders that's leaving? Come on, we want to hear you. I always put him on the spot. And Rav, this is one of your students.
Well, this is a very special moment for me because I think that for as long as I can remember, my grandmother served on the Freeholder board, and so I've gotten to know very well a lot of you fine people. And I really am grateful for the opportunity to have actually worked in this office assisting the Freeholder board under Madam Clerk. But yes, this is a very special moment. Again, from the time when I started at the Robert Treat Academy, I've always known that I've always kind of been around this office, got to know the security guards, but yeah, but it's been a pleasure, and I'm going to miss coming through here as often to visit my grandmother, but I'll still be by, probably be borrowing the key to the county. But yeah, but I've worked at the Turtleback Zoo. Like I said before, I've worked for the county executive, I've worked for the Freeholder board, and all of those experiences have really helped brighten my own professional venues. And as I graduate and move into my professional career, all of these experiences will definitely be cherished. So thank you to all of you, and thank you, grandmother.
And thank you. And just for the record, place your name on the record for me.
My name is Kari Motain, and what else?
Grandson.
And your grandson of Lonnie Watson, right?
Yeah, I'm the grandson of Lonnie Watson.
Thank you so very much. And Grandma always put you on the spot, right? But thank you for your comments. Okay, for the record, Freeholder Clark is present, Freeholder Gill and Freeholder Luciano, Madam Clerk. Let's move. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak? No one else from the public wishing to speak at this time. Okay, Madam Clerk, we'll move to the agenda, and let's move to ordinance number on second reading and public hearing listing only. Madam Clerk, I see no ordinance listed for second reading and public hearing at our next meeting. So let's move to ordinance on second reading and public hearing. Do we have any ordinance on second reading and public hearing for this evening, Madam Clerk?
Yes, we have ordinance number O-2014-00018, and that is ordinance to amend ordinance number O-98-0034 to amend the membership requirements and term of the Essex County Recreation and Open Space Advisory Board.
Okay, I hereby declare the public hearing on ordinance number O-2014-00018 open. If there's any member of the public who would like to comment for or against this ordinance, please come to the microphone and state your name and affiliation for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that there's no one wishing to speak on this ordinance. Mr. Polyvecchio, do you have any questions or comments?
I do have a question. Mr. Chilella, I was looking at the materials supplied with the ordinance, And I do, in reference to one of the public comments made at the beginning of the meeting, I notice there are 11 members of this board, and only 2 of which are supposed to be standing members. One is the Parks Department Director, one is the Freeholder President or the President's designee. So that the other 9 members are they, and they would be appointed by the executive with advice and consent of this board. Is there any special designation from where those proposed members would come from?
Through Madam Chair, no. Those 9 appointments, like all of our boards, pretty much come from the recommendations made to the county executive on behalf of this board or constituents to fill those vacancies. The real reason is the former board had been consisted of 15 members. In some of those areas that had to be filled, those organizations were either not in existence or defunct. So that's the rationale to bring it to an 11-member board, 2 of which will be standing members, as you had mentioned, 1 appointed by the county executive and 1 through the Freeholder President, and the other 9 through normal process that recommendations and advice and consent by this board.
Okay, so they could come from any walk of life.
Precisely.
Thank you.
Very good. That may clarify the question that was asked by the resident that came before, constituent that came before us. Okay, freeholders, do you have any questions, comments?
I'll have a comment.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold.
Thank you. I'd like to comment about the resolution. I've been involved in the resolution from the very beginning. When the county executive was freeholder president, the voters voted to have an open space trust fund. However, that couldn't happen unless the freeholders passed an ordinance making that so. And the county executive, who was the freeholder president at the time, put me in charge of the committee to do the work to prepare this resolution. It had become a law in the state that we could have this, and there were only, I believe, 2 counties at the time that did. I did a lot of research, and the amendment that was, and the ordinance that was adopted by the county at that time reflects all the work that was done by me and some others working with me. And we did come up with a committee representing all the different areas. And I've been on that committee since it first began in, I believe, 1998. The problem all along has been that members who were appointed simply did not come. There are members appointed to that board whom I have never seen. They've never come to a meeting. And it was time for the Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board to change how it was formed. It will now be formed just the way every other committee is formed. The county executive makes recommendations, the people come before us, and then we approve it, or we don't approve it. And this will be done the exact same way. That doesn't mean that people who are interested in the environment, who are interested in open space, won't be appointed. They will be, because that's what this advisory board needs. But hopefully, we'll have people who will come to all the meetings, and we won't be faced with people who never show up. And that's why I am wholeheartedly in support of this ordinance changing the procedure, because I think it will be for the better. And that's why I'm for it.
Okay, other comments, freeholders? Do we have any other comments from Freeholder Bobadilla?
Yeah, in this short amount of time that I've been on this board, I can only tell you that, one, I've been totally impressed in the way that the trust fund has been managed and the way that our projects have been done on time, on budget, and they've exceeded some of the expectations from our own communities. We see with the whole park infrastructure that we have, I mean, we're bar none, we're on the top. And so and you know, referring to the nominations that we get for the advisory board, I mean, I'm always impressed with the resumes that we get from the individuals' qualifications and experience, and so I welcome change, and I think it's going to move us forward, and I think this will move us forward. Thank you.
Yeah, Freeholder Vice President Seabold.
Thank you. I wanted to say one other thing that I failed to mention. whenever the county executive has an idea, it always comes to the advisory board. And I want to commend Dan Salvante, who's head of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, for always being there and always explaining everything. And that's why it then comes before this freeholder board after we discuss it and we make suggest changes, or we accept the way it's going to be. And you know that you see all the minutes, because that is always put in the agenda. It's always included, as it is tonight for some of the items we will be looking at that the Open Space Trust Fund is advising. So I want to thank Dan for all that he does, and for the county executive for coming up with such wonderful ideas that has made Essex County literally the best place in New Jersey. Look at Turtleback Zoo. It's the best zoo in the state. We have more people coming here than ever in the history of Essex County. I could go on and on about the South Mountain Reservation, Branch Brook Park, Weequahic Park. I could go on and on, but I'll stop. And all of this is because of what the county executive has wanted to do, and through the advice and consent of the Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board, it then comes to the Freeholder Board, and I know that this procedure will continue well into the future. Thank you.
Very good. Freeholder Luciana.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I too would like to put some comments on the record in regards to this ordinance, which I will also be supporting. And that is to those that are here in the audience and those watching on TV from my district, District 4. I can tell you that there's been numerous projects as of late that have been able to be financed because of the Open Space Advisory Board that have been popping up all over my district, and that I'm very thankful for. And I'm sure most of the residents who live in Essex County, if they follow where their tax dollars are going, they'll see that they're going to great use up in District 4. That being said, you know, Essex County, the Board of Chosen Freeholders, the County Exec's office, I think that we're always open to just about everyone who has a vested interest in Essex County. And while it's not usually tradition that we address folks that bring questions up before our meeting in regards to things on the agenda, I think because we are voting on it tonight, I would just like to make a comment to the gentleman that's here from the Sierra Club that if you feel in any way your organization, you know, it doesn't or won't have any representation on that board, I can assure you that you will, because, you know, and I could speak for myself as a freeholder, but I could also speak for, you know, Dan Salvante, the Director of Parks and Recreation. You know, we get input from folks all throughout the county, and we always take them into high regard and consideration, as does the county executive. I mean, a lot of his projects, yes, I'll take my hat off to him, are from, you know, his mind, but I know that there's also been numerous projects that have come from other vested interests, you know, and other organizations in this county that have gone to him and said, hey, county executive, this is like what we'd like to see get done, and it usually happens. So at that, thank you, Madam President, you know, for letting me put my comments on record, and I will be supporting the ordinance.
Very good. Do we have any other freeholders? Do you have any additional comments, questions at this time? Freeholder, I'll give Gill, excuse me. Okay. Freeholder Gill, I start to say Freeholder Vice President.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. Just through you, Madam President, just a quick couple of questions. And I would agree with everything that my freeholder colleagues have said about the committee itself and about the work that the committee is doing. My questions are just a little bit more to the, which I think what this ordinance is about is the structure of this committee. I just would like to put it on record that I think it's important that the administration, no matter who the county executive is, has the ability to bring people before this board for the committees, that we need to efficiently operate county government, that we should take that into consideration when we're evaluating and advising consent of these, and I think there's a certain degree of latitude that the legislative branch should give an executive branch in terms of trying to make these decisions and running the government, which is what they're charged to do. I do just have a question, though, about the change here, specific to designated seats. So through you, Madam President, I just want to understand that the goal of this change, as I understand, this is a question, is so we can diversify the pool of candidates that we can review and then, or the administration can at least review and then bring forward to us. Is that the hope, through you, Madam President, to the administration of the change in this ordinance?
Yes, I will, let me have Mr. Scialla to answer that, and then in my comments, before I make my comments, I'll comment on your request. So, Mr. Scialla?
Thank you, Madam President. I think I could answer it two ways. One is the current board requirements are too restrictive to fill vacancies. There might be organizations that are no longer in existence or have not been functioning, which creates the problem that Freeholder Siebold mentioned about members attending meetings, quorums, things of that nature. The other thing is actually to become more efficient. From a 15-member board to an 11-member board. I could look back and I think the Freeholder President and those standing members that have been here for the past 12 years have been marveled at the quality of individuals that we've presented to this board for advice and consent for all of the boards and commissions that this county has at its disposal. And we look to continue that process of bringing the best minds, those individuals that can provide their talents and expertise to these areas, and not to be restricted to any way, shape, or form. And this format is pretty much how most of the boards in the County of Essex functions, and that is two standing members. Traditionally, the Freeholder Board President has a member in the County Executive, and the remaining 9 are appointed or recommended by the County Executive. And this board has their due diligence under the advice and consent to approve those nominees. And we believe that's a proven success, and that's the manner in which we look to move forward on.
Okay, we have Mr.
Thank you.
Elijah, would you put your name on the
Phil
record,
Elijah, Chief of
please?
Staff, Essex County. One of my responsibilities is organizing, coordinating all the boards and the appointments through the county executive. The way the board was previously set up, very constricting. There's 2 or 3 organizations that are specifically named in the original ordinance that either are defunct or don't have members. I heard recently from groups that were not on the original list that could never be appointed, and they're like, why weren't we included? Among the groups that they specifically named, it limits it to about 200 people in Essex County who could even serve on that board among those names. This opens it up to all 800,000 residents that are environmental or want to get involved. It's clearly a more efficient, more effective way. We are committed to making sure we have people who are involved in open space and the environment and have a loving and care for the environment to serve on this board. So from my perspective, it's going to make this more effective and more efficient. And again, this is an advisory board. Any decisions that they make are brought by the administration. Any dollar that, and ultimately the freeholders decide on what to do in those cases. So from our perspective, we have, again, 2 or 3 of those named organizations in the first order that are either defunct or not in existence, have changed names, so legally there's questions. Even that board, they were all appointed by Joe, by the county executive, and with the advice and consent of the freeholder. So it wasn't as if those organizations sent a representative. It said we got to recommend someone from those groups, and you did the advice and consent. It's almost the same except without those limits. So it makes it much more efficient, much more effective, and I think we'll get a cross-section because other nonprofits and environmental groups who weren't listed there want to be involved.
Very good. Did that answer your question, Freeholder Gale?
Yeah, Madam, just a
Very good.
follow-up question. I did a follow-up question.
Continue then if you have a follow-up question.
So, dear Madam President, so therefore, in a sense, then, an organization that will no longer be listed might actually have an opportunity to place more people on the
Oh, absolutely.
on the board now than the way it's currently constructed.
Can I answer that, Matt? Or-
Yes, please answer.
Through you, I'm sorry.
Mr.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Elijah.
And just so you're clear, we are going to, and I believe you'll get this in the next week or two, we're going to appoint every active member of the old board onto this new board. So we're not doing this to get rid of members or to do anything. Everyone who's active in the existing board is going to get transitioned over, and we're going to ask you, with your advice and consent, to give them all existing terms. So, and then exactly, we can get more than one person that are members of certain groups. So, it actually opens it up.
Additional questions, comments, freeholders? Okay, just let me make, while you're standing there, Mr. Elijah, let me just make one comment. I agree that there are times when you have to make changes to make our committees more effective and more efficient. When I hear all of the comments from the freeholders and the questions, I can certainly understand, but I just want to have the freeholders to be reminded that there's never a time that there's a need to utilize funds from the open space that we don't get a report from our representative, because this board, you have a representative that sits on the open space committee. And a lot of times we will ask our representative to explain a particular release of funds, and she's able to do that for us. So we will be better prepared to make a decision to vote. And again, it is going to notice that we'll appoint all of the committees, all the individuals for 3 years. And like all of the other boards, you would have to come back every 3 years and reappoint the individuals that you have there. If they're not the people that you feel is qualified at the time or not attend the meetings, you don't have to reappoint them. And I think that's democracy, and I like the new procedure that we're about to vote on, and I would be supportive of this ordinance. So if there's no further questions or comments, we want to thank you, Mr. Elijah, for the explanation to clarify some of the freeholders' thoughts and questions. Do you have anything else that you? Okay, very good.
Just congratulations to the members who are leaving.
Thank you again. Thank you.
You know what, Madam President? I'm sorry, I just had one other question.
Yes.
I know that we're closing
Freeholder
this.
Luciana.
And forgive me for not being familiar with the current ordinance. Currently, is it just one member of the freeholders, or currently is it two?
It's always just one.
It's just one? Okay. I just wanted to clarify that we're still
According
having.
to the ordinance, we can have one member to represent the freeholder.
Okay.
I think it's one and an alternate. I think there might be an alternate.
So if something happened to that one, you can always have someone to represent.
I don't think we have an alternate.
Yeah, one and an alternate.
Thank you,
Yes,
Madam
Freeholder
President.
Gill?
Thanks so much.
No alternate, Paganelli's telling me.
No
My
alternate?
apologies.
I don't think we have an alternate, do we?
Right, just your
I didn't think so.
designate. That's how it is, and that's.
Yeah, I don't remember ever appointing an alternate for that. Freeholder, do I have a hand? Freeholder Vice President.
Thanks. I'd just like to add something more. First of all, I'm the freeholder representative to the Environmental Commission, and Tara Casella, who is head of the Essex County Environmental Service Center, serves on the Recreation Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board and does an excellent job. We also are supposed to have people from all 5 districts in Essex County, but we don't, because there are a number of districts where people have been appointed and they simply haven't shown up. And I'll be a little more specific. The Newark Landmarks is supposed to have someone, and they never have. And also, and I hate to say this, I've been a member of the Sierra Club as long as I can remember. And I know the gentleman who spoke originally was representing the Sierra Club. We have no one from the Sierra Club on the advisory board. We've been unable to get anyone in all these years from the Sierra Club. So I think changing the composition of the board and eliminating where someone has to be from will improve the board itself. And all those people will be recommended by the county executive and come before us, just as they do for all the other boards and commissions in Essex County. And I think we will have an even better board by following through and making this ordinance a possibility. Thank you.
Freeholder Vice Presidency. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to comment on this ordinance?
David Yenur, Belleville, Chair of the Gateway Group, the designee for the Sierra Club to come forward on this ordinance amendment. The chair of the New Jersey Sierra submitted my name as a potential member of the advisory board about 3 years ago. I've been the chair for 3 years, actually, here at the Gateway Group, which represents Essex County. And I would have been happy to serve. We also have other people that would have served, would serve. But no one responded, nor did anyone ask. So that certainly the fact that there is a vacancy is no reflection on us.
Thank you, and as I stated earlier, we will respond to you in writing, and your concerns well taken.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak? At this time, please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
I'd like to record. I was told to start.
Your name, I'm sorry, your name and affiliation.
My name is Dennis Percher.
And you have 3 minutes to speak.
Great, thank you. Dennis Percher, and I'm head of the chair of the board of directors of the South Mountain Conservancy. I'm assuming that these comments are in regards to the change in the ordinance in terms of the representation or mandated representation on the Recreational and Open Space Advisory Board. Am I correct about that?
Continue your comments.
Okay, fine.
You can't stop in the middle.
I believe
of your
that
comments.
the mandated requirements that exist, while they must be updated, are actually a good way of putting subject matter experts and representatives on that board so that there's a range of opinions. I see that the way that it's being structured now, which has no requirements save the Parks Department head and freeholder, one representative from the freeholders, is an insufficient distribution, and one could be skeptical about why all the members should be put into this advisory board without having a range of opinions. Again, I called the head of the Sierra Club in New Jersey and asked Jeff Tittle if he was on the board, and he said he had been trying to put people on for 2 or 3 years after an opening. So in fact, there has been not an effort to get a range of opinions, and I think one could argue that without that range of opinions, and a move such as you're making seems to indicate that the county executive or whoever in the Parks Department is trying to minimize the range of opinions and discussion on that board, in which case, why have an advisory board? I do project management and consulting for a living. When I put together boards, I have subject matter experts and I have representatives. I would think that the freeholders, who on the current configuration has a representative from each of the freeholder areas, I think there are 5, would want it as it is, so that there's representation on all the needs of all the areas. I think that a skeptic could say that this is a move towards greater control and less discussion, and I'm very concerned about that. You can see in what I've handed out that the Conservancy feels that the more discussion there is, the more advantageous it is, and the better decisions that will take place. Thank you.
Okay, again, and thank you for your comments. As always, this board, our policy is to respond to our speakers in writing, and you will receive a response to your comments and concerns within 5 to 10 days. So again, thank you for your interest in Essex County. Do I have anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Okay, freeholders, since no other comments, I will just for the record, tonight's meeting are all pre-motions and seconds. All the freeholders, you've been advised in order for us to move the agenda. And the ordinance is being moved by Freeholder Seabold and, thank you. Yes, so you're coming in handy. That's good. That's why I have you at my left hand. Okay, so do I have a motion and second to close the public hearing on ordinance O-2014-00018?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder
I'll second it,
Seabold
Madam
and second
President.
by Freeholder Luciana. Do I have the same mover, same seconder to approve the ordinance?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, freeholders, and roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move, and we have a long agenda, and at the end of the meeting, I think it's some presentations to be made from the other freeholders to the freeholders that's leaving, so if you will allow me, I'm going to group a lot of our resolutions together. We have 4 advice and consent coming from the administration and from the Workforce Investment Board. We have 2 individuals, and we have 2 individuals coming from the appointment to the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Questioning Advisory Board. We have 2 individuals there. So at this time, Mr. Sheller, in order for us to move the agenda, most of the freeholders, all of the freeholders rather, we have the resolutions, not the resolution, we have all of the nominations, their information before this board, and I'm sure all of the board, we have reviewed it, and at this time, do you have any comments that you would like to make on either of the 4 individuals, and then you can call them up to make comments if necessary? No, and we'll read it into the record at a later time. So, Mr. Sheller?
No, Madam President, if it's your pleasure, I'd like to just read their name and inform the board whether they are new appointments or reappointments.
Fantastic. And we're going to take 1 through 4
Resolution,
for the appointments.
Resolution 1, Kyle Patterson to the Essex County Workforce Investment Board, filling a vacant position as a representative of BCT Partners here in Newark. Resolution 2, advice and consent of the appointment of Joseph Zarrow to the Essex County Wood Board. Mr. Zarrow will be replacing Dr. Lawrence Feinsad as the Essex County School Superintendent. Advice and consent, item number 3, appointment of Tania Jimenez to the Lay Gay Bisexual Transgendered Questioning Advisory Board. That is a vacant spot. Resolution 4, Ms. Catherine O'Brien to the LGBTQ Advisory Board. Her term will run through, she is a reappointment. Should I continue, Madam President?
No, let's just take the appointments, and then we'll go with the reappointments all together.
Okay.
Okay, just bring the 4 of them up, and in case the freeholders would like to ask questions. Would you bring the 4, you'll bring Mr.
I believe there's 3 that are for appointments. Mr. Zarrow?
Okay, number 4 is a reappointment, no, 3 for appointments. You're correct. Okay, so let's bring the 3 up for appointments. Because
Patterson and
the reappointments,
Jimenez.
we don't need to have them come before the board.
Right.
They've been before the board already. So just the 3 that we are appointing
Okay.
for the first time. Okay, would you please state your name for the record, and any opening comments, statements, we'll hear them at this time.
Joseph Zara, I presently serve as the Essex County Superintendent of Schools for the Department of Education, and it's a pleasure to be here this evening.
Okay, the next one, Mr. Sheller. Just stand there for a few minutes. Don't, just stand right there, because I'm gonna open it for questions.
Hello, my name's Kylie Patterson. I'm here to speak to all of you. Thank you.
Okay, do you have an opening statement other than just tell us why you feel that you want to serve on this board?
Yes, absolutely. I apologize. I had a letter that said it started at 7, so I apologize for my tardiness. My name is Kylie Patterson, and I have worked in workforce development policy, both on the research side as well as the program management side for many years before coming here to Newark, New Jersey, back again. I'm from Essex County, and I'm looking forward to contributing to the board and contributing to the workforce development policies here in the area. Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Patterson, would you tell us why you would like to serve on the board? Just come back to the mic, please.
Yes, I have 40 years of education or experience. As a teacher, coach, department chairman, high school vice principal, and the superintendent of schools. And one of the critical areas, of course, in New Jersey is college and career readiness. And serving on this board would be an opportunity to use all of my experiences to add whatever I could to the needs of the committee.
Very good. Okay, do we have any other individuals coming before the board for appointments?
The only third remaining is Ms. Jimenez, and I'm told she's on her way. She's a little delayed.
Okay. We're going to continue, and the board, they have the resume for all of the appointees. So we will continue to move with the agenda. And we want to thank you for coming, and the board will make comments. Do we have any questions, comments, freeholders at this time? Freeholder Clark.
Just to say that,
would you speak in the mic, Freeholder
sorry,
Clark?
yes. Just to say thank you for your willingness to serve. It is true that education and the labor market go hand in hand. And so to that end, I would imagine that you would be able to bring a perspective on what's happening, particularly the kinds of course offerings in our vocational schools, and how that gets people ready for the workforce. Because companies look to the schools and to the colleges to ensure that they have a labor-ready force. And to Ms. Patterson, you've honed your skills, it appears, in an incredibly diverse area, which is the Minneapolis, Minnesota, St. Paul, Twin Cities area, one of the most diverse areas in the entire United States. You guys were always on some cutting-edge kinds of things, but your resume indicates that you've also spent some time in New Jersey, and particularly at the Woodrow Wilson School. So between the Hubert Humphrey School that you studied at and the Woodrow Wilson School, that stands you in good stead. So I'm sure that you'll be quite an asset to the Workforce Development Board.
Okay, thank you. Freeholder Bobadilla.
To Ms. Patterson, welcome. We look forward to seeing what you have, your contributions, and I think they'll be exceptional. And to Mr. Zara, we've gotten to know each other lately. We've been working on a project together, and I can only tell you that his performance under that project has been extraordinary, and I think that I can only expect good things from you being on this board. Thank you very much.
Very good. Freeholder Vice President Seaboard.
Thank you very much, President Watson. Out of the 9 people who are being appointed tonight, I know so many of them, and I know them well, and they all do such a wonderful job. And the people that I don't know have such marvelous resumes. First of all, I want to congratulate all the people who are being appointed for being willing to give up their time and effort to be on such important boards. And I want to thank the county executive for finding such wonderful people who are willing to put forth the time to help make Essex County even better. So thank you so much.
Good. Thank you, Vice President. Do we have any other comments? And we are looking at resolutions 1, 2, and 3. We didn't hear from, she's on her way. We've been advised she's on her way, but we'll continue to move with the resolutions, and we'll advise her if the board vote for the resolution. You have the resumes in your package. Thank you for your interest, and you may have a seat for a few minutes, and we'll take a vote. Mr. Scheller, from 4 through 9, they're all reappointments, and we don't require individuals to come before the board again, so you want to put their names on the record? And
Thank you,
then the
Madam
board, then we will vote accordingly.
Resolution 4, the reappointment of Kathy O'Brien to the LGBTQ. Her term will run through March 1st of 2017. Resolution 5, the reappointment of Paul Frene to the LGBTQ committee. His term will also run through March 1st of 2017. Resolution 6, the reappointment of Stephen Klinghoffer to the Essex County Improvement Authority Board. His term will run through January 31st, 2020. Resolution 7, Mr. Nicholas Greco, reappointment to the Essex County Utilities Authority. His term will run through January 31st, 2019. And Resolution 8, the reappointment of Joseph Tyrell to the Essex County Utilities Authority. His term will run through January 31st, 2020. And finally, the reappointment of Victor Alfanador to the Essex County Utilities Authority. His term will run through January 31st of 2019.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sheller. Freeholder Vice President will, you have another question?
I just wanted to say that when I spoke before about all the people being appointed, I was including everyone through number 9.
Okay, very good. Okay, freeholders, any additional questions or comments? Roll call, Madam Clerk. I need a motion. It is motion by Freeholder Seabold and second by Freeholder Bobadilla. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Clark?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla?
Yes.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
And to Mr. Patterson and Mr. Zauer, let me congratulate you and welcome you aboard. First, I want to thank you for your willingness to serve your community and this county. From your resumes, it's abundantly clear that you are very qualified and that you will make significant contributions as members of this board. I will not be here next year, so, but I can assure you that all the members of the new board of chosen freeholders will provide you with whatever support you require. I wish you all the best as well, and wish you a happy holiday season and New Year. Thank you again. So, Madam Clerk, let's move the agenda, and we'll move to resolutions 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll read it into the record at a later time. Mr. Shaela, we'll start with 10 and go to resolution 13.
Resolution 10 is the Department of Administration and Finance, Office of Management and Budget. This is our transfer of appropriations, roughly of about $517,373. In your pocket, you'll have the categories of which these funds are being transferred out of and into to balance out the budget for the balance of this year. Resolution 11, Department of Health Rehabilitation, Division of the Hospital Center. This is our annual certification and financial management plan for our Essex County Hospital for the calendar year 2015. This is a housekeeping item that this county must adopt and approve each year to let the state know that we are willing and will be operating a psychiatric hospital, and it's our intent to provide all financial and management plans to the state.